One of the projects, I'll use the word projects, that a number of people were really excited about when it comes to the Star Wars universe was that of Obi-Wan. Now, for a long time, it looked like they were going to do an Obi-Wan movie, which, at first I was not really all for, because I'm tired of constantly retreading over ground. We know Obi-Wan. Yes, we know Boba Fett. Yes, we know. I don't want a young Yoda show. Yeah, I don't want a young Jabba the Hutt show. Like, why do we keep making the Star Wars universe smaller and smaller and smaller? Let's expand. But, over the course of a couple of years, a lot of the fans kept writing in some really, really good points to me about why something like an Obi-Wan series, even though it's a character we already know, could still feel new and fresh and exciting. And they started to get me on board with it. And I started to get a little bit excited about it. Then they apparently brought on a director to do a movie, and then it all changed. We didn't hear anything. And then at D23, Kathleen Kennedy got on stage, and out came Ewan McGregor, and they announced that an Obi-Wan Kenobi series was indeed coming to Disney Plus, which got a lot of people excited. Then, a short time ago, we found out the wheels came off, and it kind of got postponed and delayed. They made the public statement that they're just tinkering with the things. Apparently, it was much more serious than that. It was more than just tinkering the script. Apparently, it came down to it that they weren't happy with the script, what have you, and everything has been quiet for long enough that some people started to speculate, like you and I did, Rob, that, hey, maybe they're retooling it and going back to the idea of a movie. Maybe. Some people started to think this thing is done. It's dead. They're because it's gone so long without anything. Well, apparently neither is true. Things are moving again with Obi-Wan Kenobi. According to a report in Variety, Obi-Wan Kenobi is now moving forward again. They just brought in a brand new writer in Joby Harold, who has written the script to the new upcoming Zack Snyder zombie film that's going to be coming up on Netflix. Anyway, this is what the report reads. Joby Harold has been tapped to write the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi series at Disney Plus. Harold takes over the writing, the highly anticipated series from Hossein Amini, who left the project back in January. This would mark Harold's first time writing for a television series. He most recently executive produced John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, and is also writing the script for Zack Snyder's film Army of the Dead. He was one of the two writers alongside James Vanderbilt, who was selected to develop a new take on the Transformers franchise for Paramount. So there you have it, Rob and guys. Obi-Wan Kenobi is, number one, not moving to the big screen, which I was kind of maybe speculating they would, kind of hoping they would too, but whatever.
Me too.
But more importantly, the project's not dead. It's not dead. They are up and moving again. Rob, you hear this report. Is this good news for people who are looking forward to this series, or is this really, nothing to get too excited about? How do you feel about it?
No, I think it is pretty exciting. And also, I would say that I'd heard or read somewhere that the scripts were similar to like The Mandalorian, like the whole feel of the show might have been a little too similar. So they wanted to retool it and take it in a different direction, which I can understand, especially if they're going to utilize the stagecraft technology. They're going to want to do something different with it. So, it makes sense. It's encouraging that you've got Ewan McGregor. This is my problem. You've got Ewan McGregor, who everybody wants to see play Obi-Wan again. You would think with all the development time that this would be ready to go. They would have this thing on the launch pad. But if they don't think it's perfect, it is kind of reassuring that they're going to still move forward but retool it a bit.
Yeah, and the other good thing here too is, it all depends. I can't get excited or not excited about this particular dude. I don't know how influential he was or wasn't on John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, which I loved, but I have no idea how influential he was in that movie. I also haven't seen the new Zack Snyder, although I'm looking forward to it. I haven't seen the new Zack Snyder zombie movie, so I don't know whether to get excited about that. The one thing I question, and for some reason her name is freezing on me, the director of the series, the woman who's going to be...
Deborah Chow.
Deborah Chow, good Canadian girl, by the way. Deborah Chow, who is directing it, directed, in my opinion, the best 2 episodes of the Mandalorian series. And her resume is extensive. This girl has done some impressive work. My only thing is, how much authority is she being giving oversight to the writer? That's my only thing. Because if she's being kept out of it, then this sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. As long as she's being given, normally on a television series, the writers are in charge and the directors come in episode to episode. In movies, the director's in charge, the writers just write the script. This is a unique situation though, because unlike most television series, like 95% of them, where just every episode is directed by somebody different, Obi-Wan, the entire series is going to be directed by her. She's actually directing the whole show. And so if that's the case, I want to make sure, I just want to know, I want somebody to come out and say that she's going to have oversight on this and have final say, because if she does, great. If not, it becomes worrisome to me. But Rob, at this point, this is kind of a unique, it's not unheard of. We've seen other television series have one person direct, although it's rare.
Right, although it's becoming... Oh, sorry.
It's becoming more. I was just going to ask you, how much do you think this shifts the power balance between writers and directors? Because normally on a television show, it's the writers. The writers are in charge of the show, blah, blah. With Deborah Chow directing the whole thing, how do you see that balance moving, if at all?
Well, television is a writer-producer's medium, and it's always been said that directors are simply traffic cops, although I don't believe that. I think look no further than one of the great developing talents in television is Jason Bateman. He's both an executive producer and he directs a lot of Ozark episodes in addition to starring in them. And I think Ozark, as it goes along, has a great cinematic look to it. But while they'll get the scripts, the scripts are going to have to be approved by Disney before Deborah Chow even gets to them. But I think that you're going to see more and more directorial influence in these limited shows. We certainly saw that with Cary Fukunaga and True Detective Season 1, where he directed all the episodes. A show that doesn't get nearly enough credit is Torchwood Season 3. That was a 5-episode series, and I believe they were all directed by Euros Lyn, and they're one of the most exciting 5 hours of science fiction television I've ever seen. So I think it's going to be a new trend. Because, I think it would help in the development process to have a director giving input, especially a director who's already worked with that stagecraft technology and knows what the limitations of it are. If a writer knows, they can write to the technology that they're using. And I think that's really important. So I think what you're going to see is a more synergistic relationship between directors and writer-producers on these kind of limited shows. And it's only going to make those shows better, I think. So I would imagine she will be weighing in, but probably not until, they're going to have to do a development writing process before. I think in terms of how TV works, it might gum up the works, but once the scripts are approved, then Deborah Chow can come in and work with the writer to sort of craft those the episodes to the technology they're going to have available to them, which I think is going to make for a better show.
It'll be interesting to see how that all works out. Okay, guys, question here for you is, I got to admit, I'm excited about Obi-Wan getting back on track again, even though for the longest time I wasn't that interested in it. You guys talked me into being interested in it. I think this is positive. What do you guys think of this right now? Jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys.